All right, everybody, welcome back to a new video. I'm super excited to introduce you to Emilia on video. So I've shared Emilia's books before, but I wanted you guys to see all of her books, see her in person and chat with her. It is a really cold day in Montana. I'm actually sitting in front of my fire. In case you don't recognize the kitchen background I don't normally have. Normally it's my Christmas tree. I'm sitting in front of the fire because it's really cold today. And we only have a wood burning stove for our heat source. So it takes my house a long time to warm up after the cold. So I'm sitting in front of the fire and we're going to talk about books. So Emilia, thank you so much for coming. She and I have been trying to coordinate this video for a little while, but she lives across the pond. She's not in the US, and so she'll tell us more about that, but she's much farther away, so coordinating time zones is very interesting. So I'm super excited we're able to nail down the time this morning. So take it away, Emilia. How about you tell us a little bit about you and then about your books? Because I've shared, some of my readers have read Newcomer, they bought Newcomer, and I wanted them to be able to see all the others. So why don't you tell us where you're from, where you live, and then we can talk about your books.
Yeah, hi. So first of all, so happy to be here. Thanks for having me. Thanks for bearing with me while we figure out the time zones. We did it, we did it. Success. So yeah, my name is Emilia and I write under the pseudonym Emilia Zeeland. And I'm based in Sofia, Bulgaria, which is where I'm from, but I only lived here for a couple of years. And then I left in my teen years and I've been living all over Europe as well. So that kind of shows up in my books. Because my characters are from everywhere and their names have like way different origins and they have like different backgrounds and everything. So yeah, because that's been my life, that's been my reality, and I kind of like to bring that into my books as well.
That's exciting, because then as readers we're like, oh, I get to go like visit this other place, and it's so authentic because you've actually been there.
Yeah, well, my books, one of the series takes place in space, so we haven't actually, I can't really bring personal experience from there. No. And Newcomer actually takes place in the US in the town of Elmwick, so as you probably know. But yeah, just bringing all the like kind of cultural mixtures, if I can, into my writing, I think that makes it really fun. And speaking of my series, the first, maybe I have them right here, so I'm just gonna like show them. This is the absolutely first baby that I ever wrote. It took me only 7 years, just a tiny bit of time,
Okay.
Yeah, and this is the space series. It is a trilogy, so I'm going to show you books like 2 and 3 as well.
Those are so these are your sci-fi, right?
Yeah, so this is a YA sci-fi, which is called the Star Academy series, and the first book is The Unsound Theory. Yeah, again, awesome. You can have a look at that. And basically, this is about a main character who, in the future, grows up on Earth, even though she has been abandoned as a baby on an empty spaceship. So she doesn't really know where she's coming from. And she gets an invite to basically go to uni, like in their universe, they start university a bit earlier. And she gets an invitation to go to this academy in space. She kind of is wondering how come, because nobody's supposed to know about her past. So she's wondering what's behind all there. So there's an element of mystery. There is an origin story that we're digging through in all of the books to figure out kind of what happened. And she meets, a lot of friends. So there is a found family trope and really a lot of, let's say, interaction with the other students. So on. So this is my favorite part to write. I'm huge on found family. You probably felt that in Newcomer as well. But just like that wide cast of characters and everybody, everybody's personality kind of coming into play. And my
found family is so powerful, right? Because that's really what we're doing in our life. It's like we don't all have the same sorts of good or bad ties to family. So we kind of like create and pull our family in. And you being a traveler, it makes sense that you sort of have to make your family as you go places. So that sounds really fun. And specifically for my readers, I think that science fiction YA element is just kind of a fun way to sometimes branch into a different type of magic. I mean, I'm friends with so many science fiction authors and I read science fiction books, even though fantasy is my main love. And it's fun because really science fiction is fantasy. It's just the magic is different. It's all the same sort of like new frontiers, make things happen through technology, big bad guys that you don't have in real life. So I think it's kind of fun to find a new series to kind of say, oh, let's just try something different. So I'm excited about that for my readers.
Yeah, I totally agree. And actually, the more you go into the future, the more the tech is kind of like really like magic, because you don't go into explaining it. Like I get this question sometimes, people are like, oh, but I'm afraid, you know, of all the tech. And I was like, don't be. Like, the main character doesn't have any idea what she's doing. She just says like, fine, I'll go. And you'll learn everything right alongside her. So you'll be fine.
It's so cool.
Yeah. And then the other book is what you mentioned, Newcomer, which might be familiar to your readers. And the main character in Newcomer is Cami. Well, I don't want to give any spoilers, so I will not say what kind of supernatural she is. You might want to read it if you
supernatural. I have Newcomer. I don't have the others yet, but I have Newcomer, and it is a really fun supernatural cast. Oh, sorry. I think
I like it. All I'm going to say is that the supernaturals, some of them are very familiar to you, like vampires and werewolves and so on. Some of them have not been featured so many times by people, so they're a bit new. And some of them I've just completely made up myself. So there are a couple of cool, you know, characteristics for everyone. And this is book 2, book 3. What?
Those covers are beautiful.
Thank you. I think this one is my favorite, but you know, it's
she has
just
a really strong stance. I love her.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I really like that. I really like the hair as well, because I'm really into hair. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So yeah, and the Newcomer is really about this small town, you know, slightly eerie city. If you have ever watched Teen Wolf or The Vampire Diaries or The Secret Circle, it's a less famous one that only had one season, I think, but it's really cool. And that friendship dynamic is what I'm going for here. There's obviously like hunters and supernaturals and different schools that they go to, and like this street where all of them live on, and kind of, you know, they're all neighbors, and all of their parents are also connected. So it's really about, again, going back a bit in the past to figure out what happened, even though it's not an origin story this time. And it's really about working with your friends, figuring out who your friends are, who you can trust, who you can't trust, and even how to work with people that you might not think that you'll get along with in the beginning, but then you're like, hey, like, we have a problem to solve. Like, can we do this together?
Gotta do this.
The answer is yes. That's real quick. Yeah, that's mostly what this is about. And I think for people who love fantasy, this is a bit more on the paranormal side, but it is not carried by the romance completely. So this is more about Cami coming into her powers, figuring out what happened in town, what happened with her mom years ago, and how to prevent a war from happening. This is really the point of it. And the romance is a subplot. Like, there is romance in this story, but it is not a story that is just about the romance. So if you normally have a bit too much romance for your liking in paranormal stories, then this will be the right amount. And I should say both series are clean romance, so you will not find anything spicy in these books.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, that's perfect for my readers, because that's how I tend to do my female plots, right? Like my women plots. I mean, it's always fun to have a little romance on the side, but the romance doesn't drive the story for the woman, because in real life, romance and relationships, that doesn't have to drive our life, right? Like, we get to decide what drives our life. So that is awesome. It's right on par for my readers. I think they're going to love it, especially because, again, it's magic, it's fantasy in a way, but the paranormal slant is just a fun new something else to try out. You know, it's just something that my readers can try to get something new, which is why I wanted to introduce them to your book. So thanks for showing them to us. We're going to start wrapping this up because people are busy and they need to go buy your book. So where's the best place for them to go buy your book? Because my readers are awesome, so you can tell them where to go, and that's where they tend to go.
All right, that is amazing. Right now, I'm only doing this on Amazon just for organizational author business reasons. It's easier for me to handle stuff in one place.
Yes.
But yeah, if you just find me, Emilia Zeeland, on Amazon, you'll see all of my books. And actually, the Star Academy has a box set, which is a better deal for people. So yeah, that's also something to bear in mind.
Okay.
It should be easier to get it that way.
Okay, that's awesome. Then they only have to buy one and they get all of them. That's ideal. That's awesome. Okay. Well, thanks for coming on and having us. You guys can find her on Amazon. It's Emilia, Emilia Zeeland is Zeeland. Go grab her books. Go grab all of them. They sound awesome, frankly. I'm super excited to try the Star Academy and to finish up the Newcomer series. So thanks again for coming, Emilia. It was fun to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. And yeah, I hope everyone enjoys the books.
Yay, go buy them all.